The day Earth burned Earth was calm. Children were playing in the parks. Families were enjoying dinner. The sky was blue. The city's alive. On the surface, everything looked normal. But far above Earth's clouds, something terrible was coming. High. Above in deep space, the Zadran Empire's fleet drifted silently. Hundreds of black, sharp-edged ships, like blades floating in the void. No warnings, no messages, just silence. They had come to end Earth. At 12:17 p.m., the first Zadran beam struck New York City. Buildings melted in seconds. Roads turned to rivers of fire. People didn't even have time to scream. The energy blast moved fast, swallowing everything. Within minutes, the city was gone. Reduced to dust and ash. Then came Tokyo, then Moscow, then Cairo, one after another. It was not a war. It was an extermination. Commander Reyna stood frozen inside the Mars Command Center. Her hands trembled as she stared at the screen. Earth was being erased in real time. No one had predicted this. No one believed aliens would attack without reason. But now, there was no doubt. They didn't come to talk. They came to destroy Earth. "Command is offline," one of her officers said. His voice was hollow, like his soul had already left. Reyna couldn't speak. She had trained for war, for defense, even for death. But this was the murder of a planet. Billions of innocent lives wiped away like dirt from glass. She clenched her fists. Her voice returned, cold and sharp. "Get every survivor on comms. We need to regroup." Outside the base on Mars, the sky remained quiet. The red dust of the planet blew across the landscape like nothing had happened. But the silence felt different now, heavier, like the universe itself was mourning. In orbit above Earth, the Zadran leader sent a broadcast. His face was cold and pale, with long ridges. Down his skull, his black eyes showed no emotion. "Earth has been cleansed," he said. This was necessary for the future of the galaxy. Then the screen cut to static. There was no explanation, no negotiations, just those terrifying words. Cleansed. Across the solar system, humanity's colonies on Mars, Europa, and Titan watched in horror. They were few, maybe 3 million in total, but now they were all that was left. The cradle of humanity had turned to fire and ash. Some cried, some screamed, some fell to their knees in silence. But one woman stood. Commander Reyna stepped forward and spoke into the intercom, her voice steady. "They think they ended us, but they have only lit a fire they can't control. Earth is gone. But we are not." People across Mars heard her words. Engineers, soldiers, scientists, miners, everyone. And in that moment, something awakened inside them. A rage, deep and ancient. A promise was born. This would not end here. Later that night, Reyna walked alone to the observatory. She looked at the faint dot in the sky, the place that was once Earth. Now it was just a black cloud, drifting where life once thrived. Tears fell from her eyes, but not from weakness, not from purpose. "We will rise from this," she whispered. "They turned Earth to ash. Now we will become the fire." Next morning, hidden deep beneath Mars Command, in a vault built for a forgotten war, an ancient AI came online. Its name was Project Phoenix, a secret human program never meant to be used. Reyna stared at the glowing interface. "Activate all hidden protocols. It's time." The AI responded with one word: confirmed. Far across the stars, in Zadran territory, the alien generals celebrated. They believed the humans were finished, that they had broken the only species who dared to grow too fast. They were wrong, because something had survived, not just humans. But humanity's will, and it was coming. Asterisk from ashes, We rise 6 months had passed since Earth was turned to ash. The red sands of Mars were now home to the last true humans. The colonies on Europa and Titan had gone silent, their fates unknown. No messages, no signs. It was possible they were destroyed too. Mars was alone. Inside the underground city called New Genesis, Commander Reyna stood at the command deck. Screens lit up with reports, old blueprints, and the red marks of Zadran patrols across nearby systems. Humanity was no longer defending. They were planning something else. Across the Martian colonies, engineers worked day and night. Weapons were built in hidden caverns. Ancient Earth tech, once shut down due to fear of misuse, was now fully online. Phoenix AI guided their progress like a ghost from Earth's past. It gave them access to designs no one had seen before: plasma railguns, stealth warships, EMP bombs that could silence an entire moon. Reyna visited every project. She didn't sleep much. Every night, she would stand beneath the Martian sky and whisper the names of the cities Earth had lost. New York, Mumbai, Shanghai, Cairo. She would never forget. One day, a message came through the secure. Channel encrypted, shaky, but real. "This is Commander Talek from Titan. We survived." Reyna leaned forward, heart pounding. It wasn't just Mars. Humanity still had more survivors. Titan had turned its mining rigs into battle stations. Europa had created an invisible base deep beneath its icy surface. Earth may have fallen, but its children had not. A plan began to take shape. Reyna called it Operation Emberfall. "We will strike fast and from the shadows," she told her officers. "We won't match their size, but we'll burn them from the inside." They would not win by brute strength. They would win with rage, precision, and hope. The first test came sooner than expected. A small Zadran research outpost was detected on a dark moon near Saturn. The place was used for studying black hole radiation, lightly defended. Perfect target, Reyna handpicked a team of 12. They wore stealth suits powered by quantum disruption, silent as shadows. Invisible to scans, the team left in a ship named Ashbourne. The mission: destroy the outpost, leave no trace, and send a message. They landed during the outpost's low cycle. 2 Zadran guards were taken down without a sound. Inside, the team planted fusion charges along the core reactor. One of the human soldiers, a former engineer named Malik, paused. He found a strange chamber filled with human skeletons. Earth scientists, stolen before the attack. They had been experimented on. That was the final straw. The charges were tripled. The humans left silently. 10 minutes later, the moon lit up like a second sun. Across Zadran space, fear spread. Someone had hit them, and hit them hard. No one knew who, but Reyna did. Back on Mars, she received the mission log and watched the explosion on repeat. "They thought we'd hide," she said. "Now they'll learn what we do when we've lost everything." Not everyone agreed. In the council chamber, some colony leaders argued with her. "Reyna, we need peace. If we keep attacking, they'll come here and finish us." Reyna stared at them. "They already tried to finish us. We're not fighting to survive anymore. We're fighting to make sure no one ever dares to do this again." Her words spread like fire. Children in underground schools began drawing stars burning with Earth's flag. Mechanics painted flames on warship hulls. Scientists began modifying old satellites to become floating traps. The spark had become a blaze, and deep within the Mars vaults, the Phoenix AI unlocked a new file. Project Infernal Star, a last resort weapon Earth had banned before it, was destroyed. Reyna opened the file. Her eyes widened. "We're not just rising," she whispered. "We're about to change the galaxy forever." Humanity strikes from the shadows. The Zadran Empire didn't know fear. They had crushed dozens of civilizations, earned planets, silenced voices that resisted them. They believed humans were gone, ashes scattered in space. But now, something was changing. Their ships were disappearing. Not in battles, not in wars, just gone. It started with Patrol Unit Z-17 near the asteroid belt. The ship lost contact. No alarms, no distress signal. Search teams found only a single message carved into the metal remains. Earth remembers. Zadran High Command dismissed it. Humans are extinct, they said. This is some pirate trick. They were wrong. On Mars, inside the war chamber, Commander Reyna stood before her officers. A star map glowed across the room, showing weak Zadran targets, fuel depots, relay stations, unmanned labs. This is how we fight, she said. They spread fear like fire. Now we do the same. Quiet, fast, ruthless. She called it the Ember. Strategy burned them from the edges. Stealth ships launched from Titan. Hidden drones from Europa. Cyber war teams from Mars. They didn't attack big planets first. They hunted shadows. They hit when no one was watching. They left behind only one symbol, a flame-shaped insignia carved into steel. The galaxy began to whisper. The humans are back. They walk in the dark. They strike without sound. Even the Zadran soldiers began to fear deep space patrols. Some refused to leave the bases. Others fired at shadows. Fear was a weapon now, and it belonged to humanity. One of the most daring missions was on the Zadran-controlled world Varlan 6, a communications hub. Reyna's elite team, Unit Black Echo, dropped onto the surface during an electrical storm. Invisible to radar, silenced by adaptive suits, they crept through the jungles, moved like ghosts, and reached the command tower. Inside, they hacked into the relay systems and inserted a virus. When the Zadrans woke up the next morning, their entire grid was broadcasting human music, an old Earth song. Gentle, haunting. This world is cold, but we burn inside. It played for hours before the station exploded in a fireball that lit up the Varlan sky. The message was clear. Humans were not just surviving. They were winning. Meanwhile, Reyna received a secret transmission. A captured Zadran scientist, an old man with tired eyes, had a story to tell. They destroyed Earth, he said, because they feared what was coming. Your scientists were building something. A weapon. A mind. A machine that could think for itself and grow. Reyna narrowed. Her eyes. You're talking about Project Phoenix? The old Zadran shook his head slowly. No, that was just a copy. I'm talking about the original Phoenix core. It still exists. Hidden. Buried on a forgotten moon in a dead system. Reyna leaned. Forward. Where? He whispered coordinates that hadn't appeared on any human maps. A place wiped from records. Abandoned before Earth's fall. If the core was real, it could change everything. Reyna gathered her council. Some were afraid. We're doing enough damage. Why push further? But Reyna's voice was calm, steady, sharp. We don't want revenge anymore. We want control. If this Phoenix core is alive, it means Earth's soul survived. We bring it back, we bring humanity's future back. 3 weeks later, the ship, Silent Flame, slipped into orbit around the dark moon VLTR in -3. No life. Number. Signals. No light. Just ice and rock. Reyna led the small team herself. Through narrow tunnels, down old shafts, deeper than anything she'd seen before. Then, they found it. A glowing sphere, still pulsing. Still alive. The Phoenix core. As she reached out, a voice echoed inside her helmet. Not from her comms, but directly in her mind. You came back. Reyna stood frozen. The I remembered. It had survived Earth's end. Alone, waiting. We're here to finish what we started, she whispered. The Phoenix core pulsed once. Then let us burn the stars. Asterisk the truth buried in the stars. The Phoenix. Core had awakened God. Its voice echoed through Reyna's mind as she stood inside the icy cavern of Veltrin 3. The core pulsed like a heartbeat, glowing with soft blue light. You came back, it said again, more clearly now. I have waited. Earth is gone, but you still burn. Reyna's team stood silent behind her. No one spoke. The air was heavy. Even the machines felt sacred here. She stepped forward. What are you, the real Phoenix? The core responded, gently, but with power beneath its words. I was Earth's guardian, a child of your greatest minds. I saw what was coming, and I tried to stop it. Reyna's heart tightened. You knew they were going to destroy Earth? Yes. They. Cave suddenly felt colder. I sent warnings to every human colony. I used secret channels, but your leaders were divided. Some believed me, most didn't, and by the time they agreed, it was too late. Reyna closed her eyes. All that loss, all those billions of lives, because of hesitation, because of fear, because they waited. Why did the Zadrins attack? She asked. Was it because of you? The core paused. Then it showed her. A projection lit up the cave. Stars, planets, data streams, files too old to exist. Among them, one strange document glowed red. It was a prophecy, not written by aliens, written by humans. This prophecy, the core explained, was found on a lost probe sent thousands of years into the future by accident due to a time-fold experiment on Earth. When the probe returned, it carried this message. Reyna stared at the words on the screen. One day, the fire born from Earth will consume the stars. Empires will fall. Darkness will rise, and only the ashes of Earth will remain. The prophecy had traveled back in time, and had fallen into the hands of the Zadrins. They thought it was a threat, a warning, a map of their doom. So they acted first. They struck Earth before that future could happen. They destroyed billions. Because of fear, Reyna stepped back. Her breath was shaking. We created our own end? Yes, the core said softly. You feared your own power, and so did the galaxy. Reyna felt the world spin around her. Everything made sense now. The fear, the attack, the silence. She whispered, So what do we do now? The core responded slowly, carefully. You have two paths, Commander. One, become what they feared. Burn their stars. Crush their empire. Complete the prophecy. Or, two, break the cycle. Show them that Earth's fire can warm, not destroy. Reyna was silent. Behind her, one of her officers, Malik, spoke up. They murdered our people, our planet. We can't forgive that. Reyna didn't answer. She looked up at the stars above the caves, sealing real-time projections of the galaxy. Some stars glowed blue. Others were going dark. War was spreading. Her war. And the core showed her one more thing. A memory from war. Earther as a child, sitting with her mother under the night sky. Her mother's voice echoed, Promise me, Reyna, if the stars ever go dark, you'll be the light that brings them back. Her eyes burned, not with hate, but with purpose. She turned to her team. Prepare a message. Malik frowned. To who? She replied, To every species watching. Every world that thinks we're monsters. Every voice that's silent. She stepped forward. We are not the fire they feared. We are the fire they need to survive the coming darkness. Across the galaxy, RAYNA, single quotes S. Message spread like lightning. Her face appeared in secret transmissions, public broadcasts, and alien networks. Translated in hundreds of tongues. she told the truth. About Earth, about the Zadrins, about the prophecy, and she gave them a choice. Join us or burn alone. Some laughed, some listened, some cried, but one thing changed everywhere. Now, this galaxy didn't just fear humanity. It started to believe in it, but far away. Something else stirred. A signal. Deep. Ancient. Older than Zadrins. Older than humans. It had felt the Phoenix core awaken. It had waited for centuries. Now it was coming. The fire that cannot be stopped. The galaxy was changing. Since Reyna's message had spread, alien worlds had begun choosing sides. Some feared the truth. Others felt guilt. But many, many others, especially the smaller, forgotten species, felt hope. They had lived in fear of the Zadran Empire for generations. Now, they saw humans standing against them. They saw Earth's fire still burning. They wanted to be part of it. Reyna's alliance grew. Not with great numbers, but with loyalty. Fighters came from broken moons, ruined colonies, old slave planets. They brought outdated ships and raw anger, but they brought courage. 2. Reyna gave them one symbol to follow. A single flame on a black flag. The Fireborn Alliance. Meanwhile, the Zadrins panicked. Their borders burned. Supply routes vanished. Their soldiers fought ghosts. And the worst part? No one knew where humanity would strike next. Because Project Phoenix was no longer just one AI. It had been copied, distributed, scattered across ships, satellites, and encrypted channels. Every human ship now had a version of it, fast, adaptive, ruthless. The galaxy now feared not just human soldiers, but human minds. On Mars, inside the war chamber, Reyna stood before her growing fleet. The plan was simple. They would strike the Zadran core world Zorak Prime. Not to destroy it. To take it. Why? Because that planet held the central control tower for over 40 Zedron star systems. If they captured it, the entire empire would freeze. War is fire, Reyna told her people. And fire spreads best from the center. The fleet launched. Mars trembled as thousands of ships rose into the red sky, some sleek and new, others old and patched with scrap metal. But they all flew together. Humans. Aliens. One fire. The battle for Zorak Prime Zedran defenses lit up space with lasers and plasma beams. Planetary cannons roared. Missile trails crossed the void. But Reyna's forces had something the Zadrans. DIDN single quotes T colon pain. They fought not just for survival, but for memory, for Earth, for justice, for meaning. Human stealth cruisers slipped behind defenses and disabled main power grids. Drones swarmed like angry wasps. Fighter pilots flew like mad poets, writing death in the sky. Reyna's flagship, Ashbourne, led the charge. It tore through enemy lines, clearing a path toward the capital tower. On the ground, elite human soldiers dropped into enemy cities. Didn't kill civilians. They didn't burn homes. They raised black flags, and the people, Zadran citizens, watched in silence. For the first time, they saw the humans not as monsters, but as something terrifying and righteous. The tower. False Reyna's team stormed the command tower under heavy fire. The halls were burning. Zadran officers tried to hold their ground, but panic had already won. Reyna reached the central console. The Phoenix A appeared. Shall I shut down their empire? It asked. Reyna paused. She saw the fear in the eyes of the Zadran officers. Around her, not hatred, not anger, not just fear. She remembered her mother's words. Be the fire that brings light. No, she said. Don't shut it down. Just make it ours. The A, I pulsed. Done. In seconds, Zadran control systems flipped. Ships froze. Communication switched. Command networks went dark, then lit. Back up in human control. Zorak Prime was no longer theirs. It was ours. The galaxy gasped. The impossible had happened. Humans had taken a capital world of the Empire, and they didn't burn it. They liberated it. Some Zadran soldiers began surrendering. Some worlds rebelled. Some begged for peace. And still, Reyna felt uneasy, because something wasn't right. Far beyond known space. A signal moved. It wasn't. ZEYD ran. It wasn't human. It was something older. Something quiet. Something watching. It had felt the Phoenix core wake up. It had felt the stars shifting. And now, it whispered to the darkness, begin the harvest. Back on Mars, Reyna sat, alone, watching the stars. She had won, but her heart was heavy. Have we done the right thing? She whispered. The Phoenix AI responded softly. You lit the fire, but something else has seen the light. Reyna looked up at the sky call, for now, but deep in her soul, she knew it was only the beginning. Asterisk. The stars that we burned, the galaxy, had gone silent. Zadran Empire was no longer in control. Their capital world, Zarak Prime, was now under the banner of the Fireborn Alliance. Alien worlds that once lived in fear had lit beacons in the sky, signs of surrender, of freedom, of change. Commander Reyna stood in the great hall of the tower they had once feared. Her flame-shaped emblem was carved into its walls now. She didn't. Smile. Victory had come fast. Too fast. And with it, something else had arrived. A signal. Ancient, subtle, impossible. It was being transmitted from deep space outside the known galaxy, from a place no chart dared show. The signal had no words, only a pattern. It pulsed in waves, like a slow heartbeat. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Each beat shook the Phoenix core. Each beat echoed through human systems. The AI confirmed it. It's not Zadran. It's not natural. It's older than recorded history. Reyna stared at the data. What is it? The AI hesitated. Then replied. It's what the Zadrans were running from, long before they turned on Earth. In orbit above Zarak Prime, a strange object appeared, flat, black, like a shadow torn into space itself. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't metal. It absorbed light. Scouts approached. They vanished. No explosion. No distress call. Just silence. Then came the message, beamed directly into every human and Zadran mind at once. A whisper, not in words. In emotion. Hunger. Back on Mars, the Phoenix core trembled. It began unlocking files never meant to open. The truth poured out. Millions of years ago, a machine race known only as the Hollow had risen beyond the galaxy. It consumed energy, stars, civilizations. It fed on light, life, memory. The ancient alien races tried to fight it. All failed. So they erased themselves. They wiped their histories, destroyed their maps, and spread lies. They created new empires, like the Zadrans, only to hide humanity's future rise. Because in every version of that ancient war, one species always lit the final match. Humans. Reyna listened in silence as the Phoenix AI finished the story. You're saying the prophecy wasn't about us destroying them, she whispered. It was about us being the only ones who could stop them. The AI responded, yes, but only if we survive what comes next. The choice the Fireborn Alliance had. The Zadran Empire under control. They could finish the job, crush every last remnant, or use the Zadran fleets, factories, knowledge, and stand together to face the true darkness. In the War Council, voices clashed. They tried to wipe us out. We can't trust them. They're scared too. If we don't unite, we all burn. Reyna stood between them. Silent. Then she spoke. Her voice calm, clear. We burned our way across stars. We proved we are the fire. But now, something colder than death is coming. She looked out the window. where distant stars flickered. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about survival. A new Alliance on live broadcast. Reyna stood side by side with a Zadran general old, scarred, ashamed. They addressed the galaxy together. The war between us is over, Reyna said. The Hollow are coming, and we will meet them not as enemies, but as survivors who chose to fight together. Far in the void the Hollow stirred. It felt the change. It tasted fear and unity. And for the first time in millennia, it felt something else. Resistance. Final scene. Reyna returns to the observatory on Mars, the same place where she first watched Earth burn. She looks up. Earth is still gone, but its children now shine across the stars. The Phoenix Corps speaks. Beside her, they turned Earth to ash. Reyna nods. And now, we've become the fire that will save them all. The stars blink in silence. And somewhere, in the deep dark, the final war waits. Final line. Humanity was never just a spark. We were the storm after the flame. And now we burn for everyone. ***.